Hi, this is Ben from OpenFace Odds. Today, I'm going to walk you through the Pineapple-OFC prop bet. Pineapple has become a very, very popular variation of OpenFace Chinese, and this is a variation, it's like a sub-variation or embellishment on the theme where a Pineapple player is playing against a player in Fantasyland, but the Fantasyland player has 17 cards and not 14 like most normal Pineapple. So the Pineapple hand is handicapped, and I chose a 50-point handicap for the video. The 17 card player is trying to repeat as often as possible, and the qualification to get back to Fantasyland is trips in the front, quads plus in the back. So the handicap is good for a full round. Now the round could be one hand, or it could be, up to 15 or so. I ran the scenario a couple hundred times, and the 17 card Fantasyland repeated in a string of 12 in a row one time. That was an outlier, but probably 3 or 5 hands within the round is usually what you're going to see. So any Fantasyland qualifying hands by the Pineapple player will extend the hand. Any repeats by the 17 card player will also extend the hand. And the qualifications are trips in the front or quads plus in the back for both players. So we created some practice modules on OpenFace Odds to run this particular scenario. And if you're interested in doing it yourself, you just go to the training page and click on the appropriate module. And here we go. So Fantasyland made for the Pineapple player with aces. So mainly I'll be talking about scoring and mechanics here, not so much about strategy, but there will be an extension of the round since, first of all, the Pineapple player made Fantasyland and the uh, Fantasyland 17 player hit trips in the front, which extends it as well. So the next hand will be Fantasyland 14 cards for the Pineapple player against the 17 card Fantasyland. And these modules are free to use. They drag and drop with the mouse or swipe on a tablet or phone. And it's good practice. So here we have Fantasyland 17 crushing the 14 card Fantasyland player. And I'm just posting the scores. I'm not going into the depths of the mechanics behind all the scoring. I'm assuming if you're watching this far in the video, you know how to score a Pineapple hand or an open-faced Chinese hand. Kings are worth 21, the trip kings there. But so far we have a running total of 33. So if the prop is 50, now the Fantasyland player is 17 under. And moving on to the next hand, which happens because of the kings qualifying for a re-go. So now the Pineapple player is back to normal, having not re-qualified. Here it's worth pointing out that the Pineapple player is going back to Fantasyland. Now, the Pineapple player would have no way to know whether the Fantasyland 17 player is going to re-qualify for Fantasyland or not. But if you play this long enough, you realize that the 17 card player generally is just absolutely mashing, and so it may end up being a more optimal strategy to try not to go to Fantasyland. So, and if the hand ended here, the Pineapple player would be taking a loss, but it would still come in under the prop of 50, so it would actually be a profitable move here. But because he goes back to Fantasyland, he extends the hand, and the Pineapple player gets to score again next hand. So Pineapple hand back in Fantasyland. So now what has happened is the hand previous to this one basically got us to this place where now not only has the Fantasyland 17 player scored 13 points, but is repeating. So you're probably getting the swing of what good strategy for the Pineapple player might be. Something along the lines of getting it over as quickly as possible. So the natural instinct to get to Fantasyland and to try to set for Fantasyland is something that actually might not, might be a negative in this variation. So now we've actually come to the end of the round. So the hand or the round is completely over finally. This particular hand, there was a foul from the Pineapple player, and then there's a 23-point pickup for this particular hand. So all in all, the five hands total 73 for the round, which comes out to 23 above the prop, which was 50. So there's a 23-point win for the Fantasyland 17 player. Now I've run this scenario a couple hundred times, and this is average, I would say. This the number of hands. I mean, the scoring. A good Pineapple player probably can get the average around 40, and I've seen the prop offered as high as 100. So if you're a decent Pineapple player, someone offers you 100, you should definitely take that. Anyway, that's the primer on how to play the prop bet in Pineapple. I hope you enjoyed the video, and good luck on the tables.